And our next story, I told you when I have a theme, so going back to beginnings, I've always loved fairy tales. As a little girl, I love fairy tales. I will make this theme work. I will. Our next author, the story that she submitted is a fairy tale. It has anthropomorphic birds. It has a lesson that's really poignant for us. And I am going to have Holley jump in on the stage while I give her formal introduction. Holley Cornetto was born and raised in Alabama, but now lives in New Jersey. To indulge her love of books and stories, she became a librarian. She is also a writer because the only thing better than being surrounded by stories is to create them herself. I'm going to jump out and let her begin reading, but I will put some of her links in the comments for everybody to see. Go ahead, Holley.
Thank you so much. So, just a little bit of context, I guess. With this, when I was introduced to the theme and told birds, the first thing that came to mind for me were fairy tales, fables. I think birds are such wonderful creatures that just in general, in my life, so much wonder and awe. I mean, there's just a variety of colors and sounds, and it's just birds are beautiful creatures. So the first thing in my mind is obviously these fairy tales, sometimes a little darker, because in addition to horror, I do love a good fairy tale. So as mentioned, mine kind of has a bit of a fairy tale fable vibe to it. It has some anthropomorphic bits to it. I'm going to read the opening because my tale, because of the way I structured it as a fairy tale and a fable, it is pretty short. It might be one of the shortest in the collection. So I'm going to start from the beginning and I'm going to read the first few pages of it. And I hope you enjoy. I was singing on the day I grew feathers. I'd always envied birds and wanted to join them on their flights of fancy. Flights of fancy was what my mother called it when I'd been daydreaming, when I was reading a book instead of washing the dishes or taking out the trash. One day I told her that I couldn't wait to grow wings and fly away. Don't be in a rush to grow up, she said. Flying is a lot of work and many things can knock you from the sky. I was 17 when she died. The day after her funeral, I noticed tiny bumps on my arms, and the spot between my shoulder blades began to itch. My father didn't talk about her death, and life seemed to carry on as it had always done. I whistled as I did the laundry. The whistling turned into humming, and the humming to singing. Feathers broke through my skin as I sang. My plumage was beautiful, black with blue shimmer, like my mother's. I told my father that I wanted to test my wings. Don't be in such a rush to grow up, he said. Just because you have wings doesn't mean you can fly. Days turned to weeks, and weeks to months, before my persistence wore him down. I went flying about town. I preened and ruffled my feathers. I stretched my neck and trilled, "Look at me, look at me." They did. They looked, and they talked. They're jealous of my plumage, I thought. They're jealous of my song. I felt invincible. I could fly anywhere. I turned heads when I flew. Some admirers followed as I flitted from tree to tree. Magpie was the boldest, leaving gifts for me to find. My father noticed the gifts and began to worry. "I wish your mother were here. She would know what to say." He asked my grandmother to speak to me. She tisk-tisked, surveying the gifts left for me. "You must learn how to judge those who admire you." I pointed to the jewels. "He can be judged by the quality of the gifts." Grandmother shook her head. "Nothing of value can be judged solely by its appearance." "But surely beautiful things are good." "Eyes can be fooled. Some beauty is only seen by the heart." "I don't understand." "Then let me speak plainly. Magpie collects finery to show off. He does not cherish things, only cares that he possesses them. I ran my feathers across a fine silk scarf. If he brings me such gifts, he must value me. To him, things exist to impress others. He doesn't value them, nor will he value you. I nodded again, though not sure I understood. Unconvinced, my grandmother sighed. When spring came, Magpie left trinkets beneath my window. At first I ignored them, but one day he left a miniature carved from ebony. I studied the intricately carved feathers and realized it was made in my likeness, a testament in ebony to my beauty. In the end, I gave in and flew with him. He lavished me with precious stones and silver and gold. I felt appreciated. In time, I found my bracelets were not ornaments, but shackles, binding me to his side. My home was not a cozy nest, but a gilt cage. Why am I caged? I asked Magpie. To display your beauty, of course. Can my beauty not be displayed on your arm? You will lay soon. Best to keep you and our beautiful chicks safe. I spent my days weeping. Soon I did lay, and I cared for my eggs night and day. I sang to them and bathed them in my tears. But sadness is not a fertile soil in which to grow, and so only one egg hatched. And I'm going to leave it there.